Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope all of you guys are good today. It has been a few days since I've been on here in my usual setup, but thought I could chat with you guys. Obviously the women's team and the men's team both won this weekend. But yeah, I'm gonna do a Q&A. I'll be on here for a little bit today, guys. So I hope you'll do enjoy me, join me today and ask any questions about Arsenal that you have for me today. But yeah, been a good weekend for Arsenal. Yesterday that game was pretty crazy. I was not really expecting it to be as difficult as what it was. It is never an easy 3 points of Arsenal, but a good win for Arsenal. The women's team as well beat Everton quite convincingly. So yeah, it's been a pretty good weekend. But I'm gonna obviously go through all of this anyway. But make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and yeah, like I said, if you've got any questions for me, do drop them in. But yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions and chat with you guys for a little bit today. Thoughts on the Wolves win. Thank you for your question. Yeah, I mean, not the best performance. It really was not a good performance at all, but I don't really care how we won. We just have to get over the line. I knew Man City were going to win today, so yeah, Man City at the moment are really hard to beat. They're in that mindset of like they just have got so many great players. They're just unstoppable right now. So I'm not really surprised that they won today. Probably what I expected really, but I'm just relieved we got the job done. That is the most important thing for me at this stage of the season, just getting those 3 points. I mean, when it was 1-1, I was really worried because we've dropped a lot of points already recently. We've lost to Villa. But before that, we'd dropped points at Chelsea and Sunderland. So that was quite concerning. So I'm really happy that we were able to find a way to win in the end. I know they're both own goals, but a win's a win for me. So relieved, but that performance really wasn't great. But we have a week off now. We don't play till next Saturday. So there'll be players that will rest now. I heard something that they're having a few days off, which they absolutely need because we have picked up more injuries. Ben White is injured as well. So hoping we're going to see an update about Ben White because that isn't really great news, is it, for us to hear? Looks like he's done his hamstring. So yeah, not ideal, but listen, I'm happy to chat with you guys today. And big up to everyone that's here. Make sure you like, subscribe as well, and drop in any comments or questions you have for me today, and I'll happily chat with you and answer them. Big up, Chris. Good to see you here. I'm good, thank you. I hope you're good. Who's going to have a more successful season, Arsenal men or the women? Well, with the women, I don't think we're going to win the league because we're quite far behind. And with women's football, the WSL in specific, you don't play as many games, so you don't really. If you lose quite a few games, if you draw a few, it can be over quite quickly. I think the women's team have got a good chance in the Champions League. I think we've got a good chance in the FA Cup, the Conti Cup. So I think the women's team, have still got a chance to win something. The men's team, I think the men's team is equal at the moment, but I think the men's team have got a better chance at winning the league. And I just hope both of them do it, but I think the men's is looking good at the moment. With the league, the Champions League, looking good. So yeah, I hope both men and women's team do have success throughout the season, but it's a longer season. We're going to have to see how it goes. But yeah, it'd be nice to get over the line. I'd love Arteta to go over the line. I would love Renee Seckers to get another trophy because winning the Champions League is amazing, and I would love to see her build on that. I think with the women's team, I do feel a lot better about things at the moment because we had a really convincing win against Everton and we've won quite a lot of our games recently. So I'm really hoping that we're going to keep building on that going forward. So yeah, hopefully we'll see both the men and the women's team have silverware for both of them because that really would be amazing. Big up to you, Victor. God, Victor. I'm going to talk about your quiz in a minute. Someone's asked me a question. Big up to Julian. Good to see you in the chat. I hope you're good. Why do you think Gyökeres is struggling? Is it down to Arteta or the players that are finding him? This is a really good question. I'm going to answer this now, but big up to you guys as well in the chat. It's a tough one. I think so. I actually saw a TikTok today about a chance where Odegaard could have passed to him, and it would have been in a really good position. I thought to myself, I do think he could do more. I do think it's a mixture of things, but I just think he doesn't get the best service at times. Like there's chances where Odegaard could have passed to him in the game yesterday, and it was a really good chance, and Odegaard just held the ball for too long. So I feel like if he got better service, he would do better. But I do also think it'd be nice to see him do a little bit more. I thought in the game against Wolves, he was very quiet. He just didn't do much to do. So I do think it's a mixture of the creativity, not the service. I do think that's a little bit of an issue. But you know what? He's had chances. There was a chance yesterday where he literally should have just put the ball in the back of the net. He was literally right there. I think someone put a corner in or someone went to shoot. I think it was a Martinelli chance. Martinelli went to score or put a cross in, and Gyökeres just missed it. So he does get chances. I won't lie. I'm not going to say he doesn't, because he does. But I do think he has to do a little bit more than what he is doing. I know people are concerned about it. For me, I want to see how he does throughout the season. Like, I know at the moment it's not looking great. He's been quiet. We paid money for him. We want him to do a little bit more and have a bit more involvement in the games, especially the big games where we need him to step up. So I get why people are, frustrated with him, and I do really get that. But I do think that I want to see how he does throughout the season and give him a bit of time. But it's difficult, really, because you've got players. You've got Jesus, who is probably showing a bit more at the moment. You've got players like Marino who can step up. Havertz will be coming back soon, so it's a tough one, isn't it? I don't think there's one easy answer to this question about Gyökeres. I'd say it's a mixture of a few different things, but I would definitely say he could help himself a bit more and take some of his chances that he gets, because he did, just get chances. It's not like he doesn't ever get any opportunities to score. He does, but I just think yesterday I'd have hoped he would, at least get a goal against Wolves, because you look at Wolves, they're not really great this season. Yes, they defend well, and give them that credit, but it's a team where we should win quite comfortably. So yeah, let me know what you guys make of the Gyökeres situation, because it's an interesting one to talk about at the moment. Arteta doesn't play the system to benefit Gyökeres. The team is based around Saka. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. There were 4 to 5 chances that Gyökeres could have been played in, but ignored him and played to right or left. Yeah, it's really. I think we are so used to passing to Saka and him doing all the work on the right, putting the crosses in the box or trying to make something happen, or either pass to Martinelli. And I just feel like, why not pass to Gyökeres when he has a great chance to score? Because, like I said, there was a chance where Odegaard could have passed to him yesterday, other players could have passed to him, and we just choose not to. So I don't know why that is. The players not have confidence in him. I don't really know. I think when you're in the Odegaard position, you do have to kind of think quick about what you're going to do. You have to decide, are you going to shoot, or are you going to pass to Gyökeres, what you're going to do, and you don't really have long to think about it. So I think Odegaard has to really, not just Odegaard, I mean, when Eze plays there, he's got to think about that as well. I think they've all got to think about what's the right decision going forward, about, in the attacking midfield position, who you're going to pass to, because you have to do a lot better, really, in that sense. So yeah, it's an interesting conversation. I do hope Gyökeres can get the goals, can pick up his form. I think I said this season that I expect him to get about 20 goals this season, because I'm not expecting him to, score like 40. I know he's done great in different leagues, but the Premier League is very competitive. It's a very tough league to play in, so I'm not going to have the same expectation of him in the Premier League, but do hope he can pick up his form a bit and help us. So yeah, it's a difficult one with Gyökeres. Like, I do like him, but I do think the criticism I do get, because he hasn't scored in a while. Picked up an injury, and he was doing good before that, but he has to step up a bit. But you know what? It's hard for me to sit here and judge because I want to see how he does. I want to give him the season, and then I'll give you guys my opinion. I don't want to judge him too soon. I want to see what I think of him. But I will say right now, I don't think he's doing enough. I don't think players are passing to him as well. You know, in midfields, because you would see what you could do actually if Odegaard or whoever's there passed to him and he's in front of goal. You know, it'd be a different game, but he does get chances and doesn't take them. So, you know, it's definitely not just one thing. I think we're used to passing to Saka doing all the work on the right. We do rely on Saka, but we need to rely on other players now as well. I still think Gyökeres is cut out for this league. Even average Premier League strikers are better than him when it comes to doing the basics like hold up play. Yeah, I do get that. It's tough, isn't it? He's not really doing a lot at the moment, and I can't deny that. But I'm gonna see how he does next few games. I just hope he does, you know, step up because we need him. We've got Everton, and it's like Everton's going to be a tough game, especially away from home, and we need to step up. But I just think at the moment, I feel like Havertz would have done more yesterday than Gyökeres. I don't know what else I can say about it, but he needs to do more, and that's a big problem. Big up United fan, big up I'm good. I hope you're good. Gyökeres has 5 goals so far. Even Wenger says it takes a player a season to settle in. Yeah, that's why I'm going to sort of reserve my judgment in a way. I mean, I'll tell you guys what I think of him each game, but I want to see how he does when he's had a season because right now it's his first time in the Premier League playing with these players, and we're not used to playing with striker. But at the same time, he needs to take his chances. But I'm going to give him time and see what I think, and then I will be honest with you guys. But yeah, it's a tough one. Any comments on the Athletic article about Arsenal women's dressing room issues? I'll be honest, I haven't read all of it. I've seen a little bit of it. It's really weird with the women's team. I mean, some of you might not watch a lot of it, but I know some of you guys who watch my shows do watch the women's team. It's very weird. We won the Champions League and we really struggled this season. We've picked up our form. You know, we've done a lot better recently. Everton away was our most convincing win this season, I've got to say, other than the start of the season. But I don't think there's an issue in the dressing room. My honest opinion at the moment is that I feel like we need to really, you know, sort these issues out because we have got a lot of older players on this team. I think we need to, I don't know what the word is, but with what Arteta's done with this team, he's really, you know, revamped the squad, changed the squad, brought in better players. So I feel like we need to maybe bring in some younger players in the team for the women's teams. And yeah, I think Rennie has gonna have a big summer ahead. I think January we have to bring in some players as well. I think we're gonna bring in a defender. We've got to bring in a goalkeeper as well. I just think Rennie needs time to bring her own players in, but I do think this team is together. I don't think that's an issue. I think we've struggled defensively this season. I do think the players care. I do believe the players are together, but I do think it's a tough one. We've really struggled this season. I do think the players are quite hurt by that Athletic article that was made. You can see that they really love each other. They're there for each other, but it's difficult because on the pitch we weren't doing great at the time. We've done better recently. So I guess that's why that happened. But hopefully the women's team can, you know, win something and see what it really does in the January window as well. You guys were lucky. Wolves should have won. I mean, do you know what? I do feel for Wolves because they get so close and then they just don't do it. I do feel bad for them in that sense. But yeah, it's what it is. I mean, they were unlucky. We were lucky yesterday, but I'll take it. Big up, Connor. I hope you're good. Good to see you here. Sophie, is it weird that I think Havertz would fit our system perfectly as a player? Do you know what? I do love Havertz. He is. I think for me as an Arsenal fan, him on his own, I've said this many times, he won't win the league. But now that Arsenal have got Jesus, Gyökeres, Marino, Havertz, I think he's definitely going to help us. So I want to keep him, but he will be a good player for United. He's a decent player. Walsh could have, but didn't. Yeah, true. Do you recall when Declan Rice mentioned how it's like Arteta has remote control in his head? When I'm hopeful, I'm not convinced the team players can win with so little freedom. I don't remember. I don't remember really much about what he said, but it's a tough one with the league. I don't know why yesterday we performed so badly. Like I genuinely don't know why, because I looked at the team yesterday and I thought that's a decent lineup that. We had a lot of possession, but we never went for it. I mean, we were trying, but we looked very boring and predictable. I don't know. I mean, it's always been an issue with these players. They have freedom on the pitch. You see a lot of them doing good. You see Martinelli pretty much look quite good with freedom on the left, but his end product could have been better. So, yeah, I don't really know, to be honest with you, but I just hope we win the league or the Champions League this season with Arsenal. No, I don't regret that at all. It's difficult, really. We do want a striker that's gonna really bag 20+ goals a season. That's gonna really be clinical. But I don't think Sesko would have really. I think he probably would have been the same as Gyökeres. Yeah, exactly. Why does it seem like every time we sit deep and invite pressure, we always concede happen against Sunderland, Villa, and Wolves? Do you know what? I was so. I'll come back to this actually, but yesterday when we were winning 1-0, I thought to myself, you know what? That's embarrassing, but we have to see this game out. And then when they scored, and it was a good goal, you know, I'm not going to deny that. I think we could have defended a bit better. I think it was Hincapié who could have done better, but I was just like, I knew it was coming. Yeah, we invite pressure and we should be winning that game really 3-0 quite comfortably. I mean, United beat them 4-1, I think, and I think if they can do that, surely we can. So it's a really interesting conversation that we should be doing better really in them games. And it's embarrassing. I'm not going to deny that we didn't play good enough. It was generally awful how we played. But obviously, I'm happy we got over the line. Berta wanted Gyökeres, Arteta, into Sesko. Do you know what? I wasn't bothered either way. I think I potentially wanted Gyökeres more because I think Gyökeres, you know, I just preferred watching him, but I think Sesko. I think the biggest issue with us at the moment is that we're not used to playing with strikers, so we don't really pass Gyökeres in certain positions. When we could do, but yeah, Gyökeres needs time, but he needs to help himself. I do think that as well. I'd rather the UKL than the Premier League or whatever. Let me know, guys, what you'd rather win. I mean, I've never seen us win the Premier League, so I would love that. But I feel like if you win the Premier League, you do get more recognition. You do get more. I do think it'd be more special to win the Champions League, considering we've not won it. So I would love us to do that. But honestly, I just don't know if we can do both. I think we've got a great chance this season. United, they should have battered them. Every team turns and plays prime. Yeah. You know, I wasn't surprised that Wolves sat back, you know, for the game. I think that's probably how they would set up. I knew we were going to have a lot of possession, but I just thought it would have been a lot easier for us to break them down and really get past them. So I was like disappointed that it took us a long time to really do something. And I feel as though like Wolves really didn't have much to offer. They had a great chance, which, you know, Rice saved quite comfortably. So we really have to be doing better in these games where you should be winning quite comfortably. Like if City played them yesterday, they would have won that quite comfortably. So we have to do better in these games. We really do. But it's a relief for me the fact we've got the job done. We should win these games, but you know what? Maybe last season would we've lost this game if we were unlucky yesterday, things have gone different. So yeah, I'm happy we won, but I think Arteta knows it and the players know it that they can't be performing like this, especially if you want to win the league. So yeah, I do think we do have to be our best really. If we want to win the Champions League or if we want to win the Premier, I mean, this season Premier Champions League, I'll take either. Obviously, both would be a dream, but I would take any. I do think we have to get the job done. I think that's going to be the most important thing. Arteta will be under a lot of pressure this season. He has to get over the line and win something. So let's just see what we can do. But I do think we have to take the cup competition seriously. Really hope that we can go all the way in an FA Cup or, something like that. I just think this team needs silverware massively. Big up to WSL fans, smash the likes and subscribe. Thank you so much for your support. And of course, guys, make sure you're liking and subscribing. So if you're younger, never won the Champions League in our history, is that? Yeah, I think the Champions League would be really special. To win that would be honestly like a dream. I mean, we got to semi-final last year, so I think if we are okay with injuries, if we don't have many injuries defensively, I think we should go over the line. I think you've got a lot of players up top. You've got Gyökeres, you've got Maria Havertz, Jesus, you can step in. So we've got players that can really help us if we need to, in that area. I think the left-hand side could do with a little bit of improvement because I think Martinelli is definitely a player that comes off the bench. He's not really a starter in my eyes, same as Trossard. Trossard can start games a bit better, but I think they're both bench players. The right, you've got Madueke Saka. So yeah, we've definitely got a few players for each position, but I think defensively we just have to hope we don't get injuries, and then I definitely think we can win something. I honestly feel like Saskia Gyökeres shouldn't have been an option. I mean, there are better options out there. Those two, I wanted Atike when he was at Frankfurt. I knew he would suit us perfectly. Yeah, I do think he has been honestly like a really good signing for Liverpool. I do really like him. He's really adapted well. He's clinical. He would have been a great fit for Arsenal. He really would. And like you said, there was a big debate about Sesko and Gyökeres, really, wasn't there? So, yeah, I think STK would have been a good option as well. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Martinelli, but yeah, they're both super subs. That's the thing. I mean, at the moment, I would rather Trossard play in that position because I think with Trossard, I just think that he takes a bit more of his chances. He comes on and makes difference. I mean, against Everton, I'd rather Trossard play. I think Martinelli can definitely come on and really help us when we need him, but I think we don't really have a starter in that position. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how we play against Everton with the lineup, but it's a good chance now for players to get fit and have a bit of a rest for a week. Do you think we're going to win the league considering City are catching up to us? It is so tough, isn't it, at the moment, because Man City are 2 points behind us, and yesterday we could have slipped up, we really could have, and that just shows you that you can never get an easy win in the Premier League. Honestly, I'm nervous. I think why at the moment what I'm thinking is I do think we'll drop points. Man City might overtake us, but then we might overtake Man City again. The thing is, I do see us dropping points soon, but then I just think Man City is so hard to, drop points. They're at that stage of the season where they're on fire, they're in good form, and I don't see them dropping points. We still have to play Man City again. So I do think there's going to be more kind of twists in the season. It's obviously not over, it's only December. But I am worried about this. That's the problem. That's why when we were 7 points, people were like, we're going to do it. And it's like, you know what, we need to relax. It's December. I mean, ask me in a few months, I'll give you an idea. Ask me a month before the season ends. But it's so tough right now because Man City are so good, and you could maybe say we're showing little cracks in the sense that we're dropping more points. We've got injuries which can't always be helped. Yeah, I'm really nervous as well. I do see us dropping points, I really do. I mean, let me just have a look as well. I'm going to share my screen in a second. I want us to have a look at our schedule, obviously, in this December period or, January time, because we've got a few winnable games. We've not got it too difficult, but having said that, you never know with the Premier League, it can get quite tough. So I'll just share my screen, guys, in one moment, and let's have a look and see who we've got, and let me know how many points you can see us getting. Because you know what, it's so tough in this league. You know, you never can guarantee 3 points really. So I'll just share my screen for one moment. Because it's going to be interesting to see how we actually do. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this okay. Okay, so this is obviously who we have coming up. So we know we've got Everton away. With that, Everton away, that has always been a game for us where we do really struggle in. So I'm actually a bit nervous about how we're going to do in that, but I just hope and pray we will get the job done. Like, I just hope we win that. This one here, I mean, I would like us to take this seriously, because there's no guarantee again we're going to win the league, and you want to end the season with a trophy, don't we? So I would like us to put a strong lineup with that. What's really difficult about this is that it's literally 3 days difference here between Everton and that game. So I'm worried about injuries here. And then obviously we've got Brighton. We should win that. I think that should be a comfortable win at home. We play Aston Villa, which we haven't had the best results. I'm not gonna lie, Aston Villa, it's always a really tough game. It really, really is. But I'm really hoping that we can get the job done. So I don't feel like we've got it too difficult. We've got Bournemouth, which I think would be a tough one because they're actually quite tough to play. But I do really see, out of these, I think that's a cup competition, so I won't include that. But out of 12, I do think we could get 12 really, but Villa's going to be tough as well. But having it being at home would be better for us, so it's going to be really tough. But we've got a more favourable month, I would say. Big up to PFC TV. Good to see you. Thank you so much for your support. We should consider selling Martinelli. He has regressed and showed little to no development since he arrived to Arsenal, considering he is on a big wage. I just think he's a bench player. I just think that that's all I see him as at the moment. I think he's fast, he's got great pace on him, but I don't think his end product is best. I just think at the moment, this season, is probably going to be useful for a player that comes off the bench, but maybe it's worth thinking about better options really for him. Villa at home, take the handbrake off, take it to Villa. Yeah, I think Villa at home is going to be a lot more better than being away at Villa. That was a real tough loss. I think when we play Villa, um, I think we really have to just use that game, that loss, as motivation, and really, like you said, Julian said, take it to them and really put a handbrake off and go for it. Love us to win that quite comfortably, but at home I do feel better. Yeah, we've got a few tough games, but not. I'm happy we've got a few of the hard games like Villa Park, out the way as well. We've played Liverpool, we played Man City, we played Chelsea, so we've got a lot of the hard games out the way. Martinelli has scored 5 goals in the Champions League so far. Yeah, I do think Martinelli is an important player for us at the moment. I would say off the bench, he really does make a difference, especially in the Champions League. In the Champions League, he just is different gravy in the Champions League. He just turns up and he's at his best in the Champions League. So I do think he's useful. I do think, he's not going to be a starter, and I don't think he's probably our best option on the left, but I do think he's a useful player to have, and I can't deny, as you said, he scored 5 goals in Champions League, so he's a decent player, but I do think we should look for options on the left-hand side, because I do think we need a starter that's going to be a lot better than what we have at the moment. Big up to Ravi, good to see you here. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much, Ravi, and make sure you guys are like and subscribing if you haven't already, and drop in any questions about the men's team, the women's team that you have for me, and I'll happily answer that. What do you think about Saka's performances in recent games? I think he's not fully himself. Yeah, I mean, I know against Wolves he really was amazing, and he was the one really trying everything, putting crosses in the box, and he deserves to get the play of the match. But I do agree with what you're saying. I don't think he has been at his best, other than that game. I think he's just being quite predictable and just needs to improve a little bit. But I do agree with your comment, because I just think he needs to score a few more goals, I'd say. But yeah, he's a player that's had a few injuries and he's needing to adjust a bit. Um, I think it's difficult for Saka because a lot of players do target him. On the right hand side, we know the right hand side is our firepower going forward. You got him, you got Madueke who can come on and really make a difference. But yeah, I do agree. I do think that he hasn't been himself yet. I can't deny that, and I do agree with that. I do think this level Saka can get up to that we haven't really seen, and I think hopefully we'll see that throughout the season. Would you like and subscribe? Thank you so much. Question: thoughts on should Odegaard be starting over Eze, who has been on form regards of being captain? I personally think Eze offers a lot more than what Odegaard offers. Eze takes risks. Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, Odegaard's Odegaard lately. I mean, it's a tough one. I do agree. I do think Eze, if I had to pick someone to play in that position right now, I would pick Eze, because, as you said, Eze takes more risks. We've seen, the goals he scored this season, how good he can be. I think with Odegaard, what I've noticed, I don't know if you guys have seen this a lot, but Odegaard is shooting a lot more. So I feel like a goal is coming for Odegaard, but I think Odegaard's decision making has to be better, because the chances where he could pass to someone, he could pass to Gyökeres, or he could find it. He's good. Odegaard's really good at finding those passes that not a lot of people can find in a team. But I want a bit more from Odegaard, really. So I think Eze would be a starter. I know we can play both. You can play Eze and Odegaard and give maybe Zubimendi a rest or Declan Rice a rest. But I think really, have to see how we do. So yeah, I'm hoping that we'll see more from Odegaard this season when he plays. He's our captain as well, so I do want to see a bit more from him, if I am being honest. But he's had a lot of injuries this season. I want to see how he can deal with this and come back and stay fit. I want to see Odegaard consistently stay available and see how he does really throughout the season. And he's our captain as well, which makes it quite tough to. Fun fact: Arsenal's next 6 league games are matches they failed to win in the equivalent fixture last. Oh God. Everton away is one that I'm quite nervous about, because I don't have a lot of confidence, especially with how we played actually. It's difficult, isn't it? I mean, we just have to get the job done. I think in our December run we've got, as I just showed you there, obviously who we do have. But like I said here, this is who we have. I mean, I'm not bothered if we don't play the best. I'd love us to play beautiful football, but if we can get the job done, I'd be happy. I think I see this game against Everton, I see that being the biggest issue. That should be a win against Villa, but you never know, they're doing quite good. Brighton, you never know, Bournemouth away is going to be tough. So, yeah, I'm interested to see how we are going to get on. But you honestly never know with Arsenal how we're going to do. Odegaard still starts Samir Eze. Yeah, I don't really know. I think I'd pick Eze at the moment, but you could still play them both. I don't know who I'd want to play over them. Sophie, in the Spurs game, I think what Eze did, Odegaard would have shied away from. He would have played it safe. Yeah, I do agree with that in some senses. I think, like I said, Odegaard has been shooting a lot more, and I urge him to do that, because you know what? I always say go for it. Like I said, I do prefer us to take risks. But I do kind of think with Odegaard that his confidence has been knocked a little bit. I do think that he's not the player he was, but you know what? He can still get back to there. He's had injuries, but he should be getting more goals. But I want to give Odegaard a few games. Don't really know what we're going to do with the midfield. Really, you've got Eze, you've got Odegaard, you've got then Zubimendi, who has played a lot of football, so we might see him get a bit of a rest. You've got Declan Rice, who has played so much football this season already, and I'm worried if he gets injured, because if Declan Rice gets injured, that is like the heart of the team. Declan Rice really is amazing in midfield, so we'll have to see how we get on. Why is no one having a conversation about Zubimendi? He's not an upgrade, he passes sideways and backwards. I like seeing Mendy. I do get what you're saying about his passing, but I do think that'll improve in time, and we've seen the glimpses of it this season, really, haven't we? I'm not an Arsenal fan, as you know, so if Liverpool fan, Eze is more effective. Yeah, I think if we have to go off what I've seen this season, I'd probably say Eze is more effective. Eze is more likely to, get a goal or take a risk, whereas Odegaard, I think if there's a chance that, you could lose the ball by creating a good pass, I think you'd see Eze do it, but with Odegaard, you'd probably pass to someone that you know is safe. And I always think it's better to take risks because, if it fails, at least you can say you've tried. So I do wish we could go for it a bit more. But Odegaard can score some great goals. We just don't see it enough. And I again don't know if he has that confidence in him anymore. I don't know. But he's our captain. Our captain should really be playing on the pitch. So yeah, I'm interested to see the midfield dynamic we're gonna see as well throughout this month. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he'll do. But in an ideal world, I would love Odegaard to score more goals. I would love Odegaard to maybe pass Gyökeres a bit more. Because, Odegaard's actually being used to playing with Haaland, in the national team. So he knows the passes, but we don't see it as much for Arsenal. But again, Odegaard can find some really good passes that no one else in the team can find. So it's a good conversation, it really is. So for even my good mates who are Arsenal fans are the same with Eze and Odegaard, yeah, it's a good comment actually because I think Eze has done a bit more with the goals he scored this season. Big up Sophie Single opinions, definitely 100%. I'm always happy to hear other people's opinions and listen to what you guys have got to say. Steven Mendy has been amazing. I think other players recently have not been doing great. Yeah, I do think, this is not an excuse. I think this is just me saying how it is, but I think a lot of these players are tired and are not really performing at their best, really. So that's why I do think that it's good to maybe give other players a rest. We don't play for a week, so I think players like Declan Rice, Saliba, Timber, whoever, I think they'll be happy for rest because we'll need them against Everton. It's a real shame with Gabriel because I think he's a big player for us. We'd need him, but we are going to have to survive without him. Everton have had good results. They've had some bad results, but we'll have to see how we get on. But yeah, I do think that rotation is good. Maybe against Everton, it's difficult with Everton because I do also want Madueke to play, but Saka is so good. Saka was so good against Wolves, and you don't really want to rest players like Saka. So it's an interesting one. Sophie, thoughts on when all fit, who starts in defence and who holds the bench? Yeah, that's a good comment actually. Thank you for your question. I think defensively, who holds the bench? Who plays? Defensively, I think every player's fit. It would be for me Timber, Calafiori, Gabriel Saliba. I think I've noticed that maybe it's of course okay to make mistakes, but I have noticed that the Square and Cape have made a few little mistakes where I think Gabriel or Saliba might defend better, but then that's all part of learning and being a great player. You will make mistakes. It's about how you learn from them. Gabriel, Saliba, they've made mistakes before, but we know 9 times out of 10 they're always consistent. So I think we've got great players, but that's what I'd go for the back four if we're our best. Last night game was horrible performance, but we'll take 3 points. Yeah, 3 points. I'll happily take 3 points. Like I said, I didn't care how we won yesterday. Yesterday I did think we were going to win quite comfortably. I did think it was going to be quite an easy 3 points. I'm not going to lie because Wolves have been quite bad. But how we played just wasn't great, as you said. As stereotype says, it wasn't great at all. But 3 points is important because City Wednesday they could have really. I think they might have been a level of points or taken over from us, so we had to get the job done. Why have Arsenal always had a slow, limited build-up play? It was a problem under Wenger. Arteta being slow makes us predictable. I think every game is different because there's games where we do actually play quite good. Our build-up play is quite good. So yeah, I don't think it's that. I don't think that's the case always, but I do think our build-up play sometimes is quite, like you said, slow and predictable. But in other games, we play some great football, so it's really difficult. Every game's so different. I just never know what I'm going to get from Arsenal sometimes because we're so unpredictable. But I do think we're quite tired of injuries, and we do have to get past that and find a way to bounce back. Really, Billy Blanco playing 4 games, all the minutes since the return. Miss Manager that caused his hamstring injury again. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's really difficult because Tim has had to play in a different position. And ideally, you wouldn't really want to see Ben White play all this football because of his injuries. I mean, I like Ben White, but you know what? He's a player that gets injured, and you can't rely on Ben White, unfortunately, because of his injuries. But I do get what you're saying, but I don't know if Arteta's had a choice because of these injuries that we've had. It's difficult, really. Like I said, Tim has had to play in a different position because of where we are. I do think that's probably why he's done his hamstring. I think he's playing too much football since this injury, but I think we're in a big problem where we've had so many injuries that Arteta probably feels like he doesn't have a choice. But because I heard Arteta say that he had to take a risk in playing Saliba because there was no one else to play, and that's where we are right now. We don't have many options. We really don't. We're struggling. I do wonder if we're going to bring any defenders in January just because of our injuries at the moment. I'd be interested to see what we actually do in January as well. So if you thoughts on this as well, on these days in general, you need different type of players who, the more ball playing teams who attack, slow but teams who defend and put men behind the ball. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we are getting players back, which gives me a bit of confidence. I mean, Jesus isn't someone you can rely on, but he does bring you the energy and lift you up in a game. But I would love us to bring in a difference maker in January, whether that's someone on the left. I think we're okay. Obviously, the goalkeeper situation, I think we're fine with, but I think the left hand side is definitely that. But I've got to say, Madueke has really been a breath of fresh air this season for Arsenal. He really has been a joy to have here, and I do want to see more of him. But I do think it's good that he doesn't play every game and we don't rush him back because that will cause injuries. So I think we just have to see how we can do. But I do think we need to make a change or two in January, really. No for the big summer, but I do think we could do with a few adjustments in January to get us over the line. Sophie, just a comparison with Liverpool, we look predictable, chancing winning last minute. I also don't want to rely on that team. Yeah, it's difficult, really. I think we got away with it yesterday. I think we all know that, but I think we have to really pick up our performances because we're not going to win all the time like that. There's going to be times where we really struggle to win. So, yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Really, we just need to keep going and keep winning these games in tough moments. But yeah, I'm relieved we got over the line because I don't want us to sort of drop points now where Man City will capitalise on that. Man City are in really good form. Haaland's doing really good. So, yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how we get on really for the remainder of the season. But yeah, we've got a winnable period really in December. We just have to take each game at a time, really. And obviously, we've got a cup game against Crystal Palace, so we might see some changes in the team. We might see maybe Kepa. We might see players like Ranieri, McStown, and so I'm hoping some players will get a rest in that game. Jesus seems to be really back. Yeah, he does. He does seem like he brings you the energy and lifts you up a bit. Great video, thank you so much. Big up to the chat as well. I will be on here for an hour today, so don't forget to drop in your questions for the next 15 minutes. Make sure you guys do like as well, subscribe, all of that stuff as well. Obviously we'll be doing stuff throughout the week as well about the men and women's team. So yeah, good to see you guys tonight. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good to see. If you guys are new here, if you're always regulars, it's always lovely to see you here. What I mean is you have players that can play against City who like to play attacking, and you have players who can run low blocks, not just rely on any style of players. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I just hope we can keep winning, but I mean, I think what the tough problem is that because we've dropped points and then we lost to Villa, it puts a bit of a down on it. I think if we had lost to Villa but had beaten Chelsea and had beaten Sunderland, it would have been more acceptable. But I think because we've dropped points prior to that, it does feel a little bit deflating. But we'll have to see how we do. I will do a preview in the week as well. So I'm hoping that we will win against Everton. But it's nice to have a bit of a break as well. The women's team do play twice in the week, so we'll be doing content on that as well. But if you guys have got any questions before I end this in about 10 minutes time, then obviously do send them in. I'm happy to answer them. With Jesus being back, he still needs his minutes managed. A relapse is not what Jesus needs. Havertz return already put back. Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, with ACL injuries, you can't be rushed back. You do have to gradually build your minutes up, like to 10 minutes, then to 20, then to give you a bit longer. Like I said, we can't just play Jesus for a full game. It would definitely set him back. So yeah, I do really think that I do agree with what you're saying, June. I think it needs time. I think Havertz. I don't honestly know when Havertz is back. If anyone knows, let me know. But it's a real shame because I feel like we could really do with Havertz right now. Like he'd be a big boost to the team, really. Do you think we can stop Man City to win a Douglas? Oh, a great question. Thank you. It's difficult, really, isn't it? We still have to play Man City. I think at home. Yeah, we've played Man City way. It's difficult, isn't it? I think Man City will drop points. I think we'll get closer, but I don't think we will win the league because I think we're too far behind. I think Chelsea may be able to stop them. I don't know obviously about 100% points wise, but I think we might be 8 points behind them. So I think it's a bit difficult to stop them because I mean they've got Bunny Shaw, they've got Miedemar on fire, so it's so tough to kind of say. But I say take it a game at a time. Hope Man City slip up, which I don't think they'll do. But yeah, it's going to be hard to stop them. Big up Beth Mead. She keeps on giving that player. Do you know what? I love Beth Mead. I know she's older. Maybe she's not as fast as she used to be, but she's a big player for this team, and I love Beth Mead. She always steps up and turns up when we need her, especially in the Champions League. So love Beth Mead. Definite legend of the club. So the thing these days is so-called small teams are having a go, so they call the bigger teams the smaller teams are playing better football on the ground. Yeah, it's not easy to beat the small teams. It's tough. That's why I can never say to you guys, we're gonna win this. Like I can't confidently say we'll do that. So it's always tough playing against teams that are lower down in the league, but we just have to get over the line this season. Both the men and women's team would love them to both win silverware this season, but hopefully the men's team can continue up their good form as well. But with the Russell, I think Man City are probably going to win it. I don't see Man City slipping up really. 2 own goals. I do feel sorry for Wolves. Yeah, it's really weird because if you'd watched them, those that didn't watch the match, if you'd watched them yesterday, you wouldn't think they were on 2 points because they weren't bad. I know they didn't really attack much, but they defended really well. They made it difficult for us. So I feel like they have had a lot of, bad luck as well. Throughout the season. I mean, they scored some good goals this season, but they just can't. They can't defend any luck. They can't defend when they need to. And they've made defensive mistakes. So watch them play against United, and they just gifted goals away. So they do have to really do better for me. But yeah, they were unlucky yesterday, and we just had a bit of luck, which sometimes is what you need to win a league. Russo and Blackstonians finding the goals again. The new signing, Olivia Smith. Yeah, Olivia Smith really is amazing. I love Olivia Smith. She's so young. She's got so much potential. I saw her when she was at Liverpool, and she really was amazing to watch. She really is a very special player to have. And yeah, I'm hoping that she'll be a starter in this team throughout the remainder of the season. So yeah, you understand that it's not easy to beat Burnley, for instance, but some Arsenal fans online like how it's only Fulham. Yeah, I mean, I think back in the day, if you'd have asked me like 5 years ago, I would have confidently said that because it was a lot easier to beat those teams then, but now it isn't. It's a lot more tougher to beat those sort of teams in the league. It's really difficult. I always say to people, do the talking after the game when you've won. Never say too much before the game because you never know what could happen. It's so difficult with the league. It's so unpredictable. You just never know, if you're going to win or not. It's so hard to predict. It really is. You can never predict these wins. It's so tough with the Premier League, with how competitive it gets. But yeah, we'll have to see how we get on. But yeah, I will be back as well, guys, during the week. I'll have content that I will do for you guys as well. Hopefully, get some guests on as well. So obviously, stay tuned for that. I'm going to wrap the show up, guys, in a couple of minutes. So if you guys have got any last questions you want to throw in for me, do send them. But big up to Jar. Obviously, if you're new here, it's good to see you here today. If you're regulars, it's always lovely to see you here. And I enjoy chatting with you guys and doing these Q&As. It's always good fun to chat with you guys. Other teams always seem to up the game for us. Arsenal, so true they do. Sophie as well, these small teams are bang smarter than Window. Look, Sunderland. Yeah, Sunderland have done really good. Fair play to Sunderland. They have really done a really good job, and fair play to them for the job they've done because they could get top four. Like, can you imagine if Sunderland get top four? That would really blow my mind. That would be so crazy. But fair play, they have the right. They've been a tough team to play against, especially away. So it's never easy. But I'll be back very soon, guys. To do another video. I'll probably be live again soon. So obviously stay tuned for that. Make sure you guys have got my notifications on when I go live to those that want to know. But thank you all for watching my video today. I've had a lovely time chatting with all of you guys. Make sure you guys are liking this video and do subscribe here if you haven't already. And I will see you very soon. Hope you'll have a wonderful day, night, wherever you are. And I will see you guys very soon.